Hi, this is Phyllis. Welcome back to my channel. Today's project is going to be this Cuboid Ruffle ring, and I made it to match my miniature crystal bracelet in the last video, and I hope that, my goodness, can't even make an and I hope that you liked this bracelet project, and I really hope that you try to make it, try to get the materials that you need. And then I thought the colors were so nice that I just went ahead and made this ring and called it the Cuboid Ruffle ring. And if you like what you see, I'd like you to stick around for the materials list, and we will get started. Thank you for all of your support on my channel, and to all of my new subscribers. The materials for today's project are my cuboid beads. These are the crystals that I got from Budget Bead Box, and this is their color: Champagne Jade Half Pearl. And they are 4x4x4 beads. More crystals, really. This color is absolutely beautiful. That bracelet that I made in the last video came out so nice. And I have some of these left over, so I decided to make the ring with them. So, and I only need 7 of those. And 7 is the recommended number because of the way we're doing the outside embellishments. I'm going to use about 3 grams of size 11 seed beads. These are the Manicure brand, but you can use any brand of seed beads. And this is, my color is metallic dark bronze. I'm using 2x3 millimeter rondelles, and that color is metallic green iris. Of course, I need a beading needle. Today I'm using my size 11 needle. You can use a 12 or a 13, but I really recommend that you get those tulip needles because they are everything. Very sturdy. They have the gold tops on them. I tell you, they last forever. I can use a size 12 beading needle for a long time without it distorting. So I recommend those tulip needles. They are expensive, yes they are, but if you're doing a lot of projects like I do, you'll appreciate that investment. All right, so I'm using my size 11 needle, and I'm using my 8-pound Fireline in the crystal color, and I'm using 1.5 yards of this thread. Of course, I'm using my bead board, and this is the one with the leopard print. And I'm using my Fireline scissors. And if you like the project that you saw in my intro, gather your materials and we will get started making this project. We're going to use the right angle weave technique to make this project. I moved the rondelles out of the way because all we need right now are the cuboids and the seed beads. And I'm going to start by stringing on a cuboid, a seed bead, a cuboid, and a seed bead. And I'm going to bring these down and pass my needle back into that first crystal, that cuboid. And I'm going to leave about 3 inches of tail because I'm going to tie it in a little bit, when I get my band on. So we have to reinforce each one of these units. This is my first right angle weave unit, and I have my 4 points. I have 1 cuboid, 1 seed bead, 1 cuboid, 1 seed beads. This is a 4-point unit, and I'm going to reinforce this unit by passing the needle around into all of these beads. And of course, it's a little fiddly when we start, so I'm going to be doing a lot of moving around, and I'm also placing my finger down on the beads when I pull the thread so that they don't lose their formation. And that's the control you want to have over your work. Okay, so I have reinforced, and now I'm going to reposition by passing my needle up into that size 11 seed bead and into this cuboid. I'm going to continue adding my units by stringing on a seed bead, a crystal, and a seed bead, and I'm going to circle around, pass my needle back into the back of this cuboid crystal here, and pull my thread. And this is what we have. I'm just going to turn it around so that I can have ease of movement and pass the needle into, because we have to reinforce. We're going up into this seed bead, and of course I get my needle, my thread caught on something, and I'm going to go into this cuboid, this seed bead here, this cuboid here, up into this seed bead, and into the position that I need to be in to add my next unit. And I'm going to do that by stringing on a seed bead, crystal, and seed bead, and circle around and pass my needle back into the other side of the crystal that I'm exiting, and get my needle caught, my thread caught, of course. But we have to reinforce this unit, so we pass our needle into this seed bead, this crystal, this seed bead, and I'm just going to turn it so that I can move comfortably. This cuboid crystal here, I'm going to pull the thread here this way. I don't want to be out of frame at all, so I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. Passing up through this seed bead and repositioning into this crystal. And that's what you're going to continue to do until you have added all of your cuboids. And I'll meet you back here when I'm done with mine. So I have my seven cuboids here. 4, 5, 6, 7, and this concludes the base of the ring top. And in order to continue to make the ring top, here's my tail thread over here on my left. This is my working thread here, and I'm going to reposition my needle by passing through this first size 11 seed bead on the side. I'm going to string on a 2x3 rondelle, then a seed bead, a rondelle, a seed bead, and a rondelle. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I have to position myself by continuing through this cuboid bead, and I've tucked my tail thread behind my fingers, and I'm going to place myself right into that seed bead. I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other side. string on a a rondelle. Well, you know, maybe I've got some, I don't know, focus issue here. So pass my needle into the next seed bead and seed bead, pass string on a seed bead, pass my needle through the next seed bead, string on a rondelle, pass my needle into the next seed bead, and a string on a seed bead, pass my needle into the next seed bead, and finally string on a rondelle and pass the needle into the next seed bead. And we're going to continue by passing our needle into the cuboid and getting into position for the next level of embellishment by passing our needle into the rondelle. Once here, we're stringing on a seed bead, a rondelle, and a seed bead, and we're going to pass our needle into the next rondelle. And again, seed bead, rondelle, seed bead, pass our needle to the next rondelle and seed bead. And continue into our cuboid. And seed bead and rondelle. I'm going to string on now seed bead, rondelle, and seed bead, and pass our needle into the next rondelle. And finally, our last seed bead, rondelle, and seed bead, and pass our needle into the next rondelle and seed bead. And just like that, our ring top is done. Actually, our ring top is not done. I forgot my last embellishment step. We have to reinforce this outer edge. And I'm going to begin by, my thread is exiting this cuboid bead. And I'm going to string on 3 seed beads, and I'm going to pass my needle into this first rondelle that we have here, the first one, and just position those to have a little picot there. And I'm going to reinforce the outer edge. The last embellishment that I placed on the seed bead, if you can see that there, seed bead, okay, seed bead, rondelle, and seed bead. That's the last layer of embellishments that I added, but we just need to make sure that there is strength here, because these are crystals and crystals can cut the thread. So just want to make sure that we have as much protection here as possible. So these last ones are that I did on this side, the seed bead, the rondelle. Okay, here we go. The seed bead, rondelle, and, well, if I have to go one at a time, I will. All right, so I've got the seed bead and the rondelle there, and then this second seed bead, And then I'm going to go right out this last rondelle. Do not enter into that seed bead past this last rondelle here. And at this point, we're going to make add our picot, our 3 seed beads here, and just pass it right here into that cuboid, making our ruffle look full on this end. See that? And then, you know, move that tail thread out of the way, and we're on this side now. String on 3 of your size 11 seed beads and pass your needle into that top rondelle there. Make sure you get your picot there. You can see it right there. And then reinforce these beads on the sides. The seed bead, the rondelle, the seed bead. Did I get them? I sure did. And continue through the others. This rondelle, the seed bead, this rondelle, that seed bead, and then the last rondelle right here. And do not enter into that seed bead. Instead, string on 3 seed beads and pass the needle into this cuboid bead. And then, just like that, this time, that is our ring topper. There you go. So with our ring topper complete, we're going to now make our band. And we're going to continue with right angle weave, but with a slight modification. I'm stringing on 5 of our seed beads, 2, 4, 5, and I'm going to circle around and pass my needle back into the cuboid bead only. And we will continue, as we have been doing, reinforcing each unit. So with my thread exiting that cuboid bead, I'm going to pass my needle up the side, size 11 seed beads, across the top 3 size 11 seed beads, into this side, size 11 seed bead, and back into our cuboid only. Then, once you get here, you go into that side seed bead again, and the top 3. Seed beads. Okay, now we are in position to continue adding our modified right angle weave units. And how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to string on 5 seed beads, and we're going to pass the needle back into these top 3 seed beads. Pull our thread. I'm just going to turn it this way, and I'm going to reinforce this unit by passing my needle into the side seed bead, the top 3. And this is just merely for the formation of it, trying to keep our 4 points without losing our formation. Coming back into these 3 seed beads here. And now to position ourselves to add the next unit, I'm going up this side here and then the top 3 again. All right. Continue making the units by stringing on 5 seed beads, and with the 5 on, we're going to pass our needle back into the top 3 seed beads and pull the thread and reinforce the unit. And this is how you will continue making your units until you get the length of the band that you want. And once I finish getting my length, I will pop back on and we will finish off this ring together. All right, just continue adding your units and reinforcing them as you go, because we're not going to be adding any embellishments on the side. We're just going to leave that ring band modified just like that. And I think that's a cute design. All right, so I will see you when I'm done making my length. As you can see, I have the length of the band that I need for my finger. And now it's time to close up our ring and get ready to finish off our project. I'm doing this because I want you to see where I am. I'm going to, right now, or I can flip it over this way. It doesn't really matter which way I flip it. Just want you to see that you want to make sure that you have your band and your crystals appropriately positioned. And I'm going to move my tail thread out of the way here. And so what we have is my ring top here and the end of my band. What I'm going to do is string on 1 seed bead and pass the needle into this cuboid here, just like that, and string on another 11/0 seed bead and pass my needle into these 3 seed beads here. And that will close up the ring for you. But we can't just leave it like that. We have to reinforce it. And we can reinforce a couple of times if we can, as long as your needle and thread can fit through the beads, you could do it. You don't, once you feel a bunch of tension in those beads and those crystals, back off, because you do not want to pop your beads. That's a lot of work. We just did a lot of work and we don't want to ruin it by popping any beads, okay? That's really heartbreaking. Even though it didn't take that long to make this ring, still, you did take your time to do it. All right, so right now we are here in the 3 seed beads where we started, but remember our connection is loose. So I'm going to reinforce this unit by passing my needle into that seed bead there, that side, this cuboid crystal, and avoid those other beads. And back here on the side again. And if you can, again, reinforce again. And you could always tie this tail thread. As a matter of fact, I think I will do that. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to continue here. Well, I'm sorry, but I had a technical difficulty, and the end of my video where I tied knots is mysteriously missing. But here's my end result. I'm sorry about the rest of that video, but you guys, all I did was tie knots. And this is the finished ring. So I hope you stayed with me to the end, and I really hope you make this project. And if you do, of course, share pictures with me on Facebook. I'd like to thank you for hanging out with me and for all of your support. See you next time. Bye-bye.